to this week's episode of Two Cats and a Mouse.
This week we are going to be talking about something we get asked about all the time.
So, you're going to Disney World!
Now what? We're going to help you with the simple steps of planning your trip.
Yes, 15 points and by the end of this you're going to be a planning guru. So, here we go.
Yeah.
Tip number 1.
Tip number 1 is choosing the time of year that you go on your trip. Now, it's becoming pretty well known that Disney does not really have an off season anymore. It used to be you could go in the wintertime or in the fall, but now even those times are more crowded. But if you go in the summer, you can expect bigger crowds. If you go on a holiday, you can expect bigger crowds.
Well, the first thing to consider when you're planning the time of year is what season you want to go to, if there's any particular holidays, birthdays, celebrations. Disney has some festivals all throughout the year. They have the Food and Wine Festival in fall with the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. They have the Christmas party and a big giant New Year's Eve celebration. Garden Festival in the spring, and then in the summer it's just fun.
And Tiffany and I, we usually go in the spring or fall, mostly because of the weather and the crowds. We went in the summer one time and it was extremely hot. It was like sweltering hot. Now, the second thing you want to consider, tip number 2, the length of the trip.
How long do you want to go? So something that, if you just want to go to Magic Kingdom, you're probably okay with 1 or 2 days. But if you want to hit all 4 parks, I really recommend going for 5 days instead of 4 days.
That way you can go to each park one full day, and then you have an extra day to play with if you want to have a rest day or spend half of that day in the park, or if you want to revisit one of the other parks.
If you go with really small kids, you might want to consider a 6th day to do the pool or go to Disney Spring in the evening, and also for that rest period. It's very important because you're going to be hitting the pavement all day long, walking miles and miles and miles, and rest is very important.
Yeah.
So number 3.
Number 3,
hotel.
Now, the first time we went, we did not stay on a Disney property, even though it was very close to Disney. They even had a shuttle to and from the parks. But since then, Tiffany and I have stayed on Disney property twice. And I would recommend staying in a Disney resort. You get a lot of benefits from it. You get the transportation, you get the seamless experience of being at Disney all the time. You get to use your magic bands at the resort, and if you have the dining plan, you can also use that at your resort.
Well, there's deluxe, moderate, or value resort, and so there's lots of choices.
Yeah, and when we stayed off property, we were still in a hotel that was basically at Disney, and they still had a shuttle to all the parks. However, Tiffany and I enjoy the Disney resorts themselves so much that we would recommend staying in a Disney resort.
Yeah, you get a lot of benefits in the Disney resort. You get free transportation, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's really high quality, fast, easy transportation. There's also, you get extra hours in the park, and
you get the theming of the resort, and if you have the dining plan, you can use your magic band there too.
Yes, and you get to plan your trip sooner. So if you stay on the resort, you can do your fast passes 60 days out.
That's
true.
You
stay off property, you can only do them 30 days out. So there's quite a bit of benefits there. Now, if you're staying off property, some people want to go to, so let's say Universal or SeaWorld or something, and so they may not want to be right on property, and there's still a lot of benefits. There's character dining nowadays on off property. There's shuttles, like Evan said. there's a lot of things, and sometimes they're less expensive. But we have found that you can get the value resorts at Disney very inexpensively as well, and the benefits just are very awesome. So,
And especially if you book your trip on the website, when you stay at a Disney resort, it sort of links everything all together, and it makes everything seamless.
yeah, and sometimes you get bonus things, like if you stay on property and get a package and you get like free mini golf or something. So,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool. So number 4.
Tickets. Now, the ticket packages are pretty straightforward. Each day you add a ticket, the price goes way down. So by the time you get to the 5th or 6th day, you're only paying a few extra dollars for that extra day. But you also have to consider whether or not you want to park hop or not.
Yeah, and so park hopping means that you're going to go from one park to another park in the same day. And so you really, if you were going for a very short trip, park hopping is great. If you're going for a long trip, you may just want to plan each day at one day at a whole day at a park, and then move on to the next park the next day.
And a lot of people like to park hop over to the Magic Kingdom at the end of the day to watch Wishes, because the Magic Kingdom's generally open later than all the other parks.
But it is an upcharge. So number 5, transportation. So you want to consider how you're getting there. You want to consider flying. You want to consider driving. You also want to consider the transportation in the park, which may or may not affect your hotel choice. There are the monorail, and that connects all the deluxe some of the deluxe resorts.
The Contemporary, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian.
Yes, and so you can just hop on that monorail and just zip to your resort really quickly. So that's something that we didn't talk about, is the level of hotels, but we're going to be doing other videos. This is just a general overview. But the transportation, if you fly, there is the Magical Express that will pick you up from Orlando International Airport and take you to Disney World, so you don't have to rent a car or anything, so that's a pretty nice choice. Also, renting a car is pretty inexpensive a lot of times of the year.
And we've rented a car before, and it was pretty nice to be able to drive. The last time we went, we drove our own car, and we parked it, and we didn't drive it for an entire week. Yeah. We just used Disney transportation the whole time.
Yeah, it really just depends on if you're going to other theme parks or other places in Orlando. But if you're staying on property, you truly do not have to have a car. Online planning.
The Disney website, it takes some getting used to, but it is definitely your friend.
Yeah, DisneyWorld.com. You can go and you can book everything. You can see your trip day by day, what park, what fast passes, what dining reservations, everything, and it's pretty simple. Number 7.
Dining reservations. Now this is a thing that confuses a lot of people. Dining reservations are completely unrelated to the trip that you've booked. So even if you have not booked a hotel or bought Disney tickets to the parks, you can still reserve restaurants.
Yeah, so, and there are restaurants that you can reserve at the hotels themselves and not just in the parks. So you may, let's say you're going to Universal, you may want to eat in Disney World at one of the character dining at, let's say, Ohana at the Polynesian Resort. You can totally do that. You just get on DisneyWorld.com, book your reservation, or you can call the Disney World phone number as well.
And Epcot has so many different restaurants to choose from. So what I would recommend is maybe doing one reservation a day for food. You really don't want to do more than that. We've done 2 reservations in one day, but it's almost too much.
Yeah.
So we would recommend, you could do that, but we would recommend 1 reservation per day. And also, there are so many different dining options. Don't be afraid to experiment, try something new, read about the different restaurants on the website and online, read reviews, and we definitely have our favorites.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing another whole video about dining reservations, dining restaurants, so check that later, okay?
Yeah, but most of the restaurants, if you do not have a reservation, you literally cannot
Yes.
get in
Now
at
you
all.
can always go. Something we should probably say now is that there's quick service, which just means you walk up, buy food. You can always go to those. They don't take reservations.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a table service and sit down and have a server and everything, those are the restaurants that you're going to have to make a reservation. And you can get dining reservations 6 months in advance of your trip.
Yeah.
So
The earlier the better.
Yeah. So it's really fun.
Even the most obscure restaurants book kind of early. And that brings us to our next point, number 8, the dining plan. We have personally never used the dining plan, but we have friends that have used it. And for us personally, we would prefer not to get the dining plan because you have more control over when and where you eat. And if you get the dining plan, just remember, you're really not saving money. You're just getting the benefit of being able to pay for your food in advance, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you use the program. I think that it would be very beneficial to some people, but it's just not it's just not the right choice for Evan and I. The dining plan's a good choice because it's a good value because you get a meal, a drink, and you get a dessert with every single meal. Plus, you get snacks throughout the day, and so that's something. And you can combine meals, so you can do like 2 quick service meals together to get a table service meal. It's very user friendly, I guess you could say. So it's kind of your own personal choice with the dining plan, and I think that it's really good. So it's a good option that they have.
Yeah, so number 9,
fast passes.
Fast passes are extremely important, and Disney is going through some changes right now as we speak with the fast pass system, but the basics of the fast pass system are the same. You can get on there if you're staying in a Disney resort. You can fast pass rides 60 days in advance of your trip. That means that 60 days before the first day of your trip, let's say you're staying a whole week, 60 days before the first day, your whole week opens up for fast passes.
Yes, so you can plan the whole trip that night. And you get 3 fast passes in a day. After you've used all 3 of those, you can go to a kiosk in the park to get a 4th fast pass.
And all 3 fast passes have to be for the same park.
And fast passes are, just an opportunity for you to skip the line in a single ride in the park. So, as you can imagine, some rides are more popular than others. So, it's really important that you fast pass the right rides. And so, we also are going to kind of do a tip video about that.
Yes.
And so,
because we have made the mistake of fast passing rides before that do not need a fast pass at all.
Yeah, and so it's good to know which ones have the long lines, and so check back for that. But just remember, number 1 tip on that is just get on there and do it as early as you can because some of the better rides get booked up.
And you're going to need that for sure. So that brings us to 10.
10 magic bands.
We love our magic bands, and it's a big part of the Disney magic.
And as you see, there's several different colors that you can get. And so magic bands are super cool. You can kind of go and when you book a Disney hotel, you get your magic band for free. So that's another benefit. You can still buy them in the park if you did not stay at a Disney hotel.
And a lot of people ask us about magic bands. Basically what you do with your magic band, it is the key to your Disney resort room. It also serves as your ticket in the parks. And you can link your debit card or credit card to it and use that to pay for things all around the Disney World resort.
So you would have it around your wrist, and there's little things like if you want to use your debit card and you just go boop, then you have to put in your 4-digit code and then it pays for it. And you can set a limit, so if you only want to spend, I don't know, let's say $100, then it will stop, after $100, or you can just let it be unlimited. Something to remember though is it will take all the money out at the end of your trip. So, people think, well, wow, I've got, a lot of money in the bank account if you're not watching it. And
keep track of
as soon as you get home, you're going to be getting like that taken out of your account.
And the reason why we have so many magic bands, and you'll see people with a lot of magic bands, is because every time you book a trip, they send you new ones. And
they print your name on the back,
and they're waterproof.
So that if you get lost, they're waterproof. You can take them to water parks, and they're really fun.
As a guy, I like it too because you don't need your wallet at all day. And for a lot of women, you don't have to haul around as much stuff. It's all on the band.
So the next thing is non-park activities.
Now, if you're only staying in Disney for a short time, you're probably going to focus mostly on the parks. But if you've got several days or some extra time, there are countless things to do around Disney World. There are golf courses, there's mini golf, there's 2 water parks.
Yeah, there's spas, they do massages, they have 4-star dining, they have chef dining, they have the Blue Zoo, which is a taught English restaurant, they have restaurants in Disney Springs, they just opened a Morimoto restaurant, they have all sorts of things. They also have Cirque du Soleil, which is in Disney Springs.
Well, Disney Springs could take up an entire day easily by itself.
You can go to some of the resorts and rent little carts that you can ride on. You can go to the campground and have campfire songs and a movie with Chip and Dale. And
all of the resorts have a nighttime movie of one kind or another, movie under the stars.
Yes, so that's fun thing. If you had a pool day, you can totally do that. There's so much to do at Disney World. Like you just
could never
really,
do it all.
You really could never do it all.
Yeah.
You could get out and ride on the monorail and get off on the boats and everything and just spend a whole probably week going to all the resorts and finding fun things and adventures. And so it's one of the reasons we love Disney World. It's like an adventure every time we go. Okay.
So that brings us to point number 12,
pets. So just wanted to do a quick little point to let everyone know that there is a Best Friends animal kennel on Disney World property. They do daycare, they do overnights, they stay open, they get there an hour before the park opens and they close an hour after it leaves. Olive says bring your pet. Bring your pet to Disney World. Don't you, Olive? You say bring your pet to Disney World, Minion? They do not just cats and dogs, they also do like lizards and small animals, and so just kind of wanted to point that out. If your pet is holding you back from Disney World, don't let it.
Number 13,
special magic. So there's lots of things to make if you're going for like an anniversary, or if you are going for something really special, or if you want to surprise your honey, or you want to just do something really like above and beyond, there are some special magic type things that you can do. And first one is the Disney Floral group. So you can have things sent out. If you saw our day 1 video, is it a day 1 video? Yeah, our day 1 of our October 2015 trip, you'll see that I sent Evan a little gift.
Day 1,
and it was just for fun because we I wanted to surprise him. So.
And every time, and don't worry, because every time you talk to a cast member, they'll ask you, "Are you celebrating something? What are you celebrating?
Yeah.
What are you celebrating?" Because they want to make it fun and special and specific to you. So anytime you're celebrating something, they'll almost always have a button to commemorate it. Like this is our 5th anniversary, which we weren't there right on our anniversary, but they kept asking us if you're having a birthday, they'll give you a birthday pin. They'll give you a first-time visitor pin if it's your first time to Disney.
Yeah. So the buttons are cool. The Disney Floral is cool. And it's not just gifts like I sent him. They also have flower arrangements and things. There's special tours that you can go on in Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. There's like a wild trek that you can go on in Animal Kingdom. And
in Epcot, you can go behind the scenes and swim with the dolphins.
Yeah, and wade with the dolphins. And they have like tours in Magic Kingdom where you can go behind the scenes.
And you get to go underground in the utility corridors.
Utilidors.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also fireworks boat rides that you can go on. There's a pirate one for kids, and then there's just like a more romantic one, I think. There's also makeovers for kids. So there's Boopity Boppity Boo, and there's the Pirates makeover. And so they do all, it's just adorable. Okay, another special thing that you can do is Memory Maker. You can get all your pictures digitally, and it costs one price in advance, and it's more if you buy it on the trip.
It's usually a couple $100.
Yeah, I think it's $150 before the trip. But you also get it free if you're a season pass, or if you're coming from like a European trip.
Now, Tiffany and I have done both trips. We've done trips where we did not have the photo pass, and we've done a trip with it. And I can say, hands down, it is worth every penny you pay for it, because when you're out and about and you're in the parks and you're busy and you're in a hurry and you're getting those pictures taken, it's very nice to know that you're going to be able to get all of those pictures. And now Disney even has on certain rides video. And you may have even seen that on one of our trip videos. I included our Tower of Terror video on it because it's really cool. Yes.
Also, there are little tours that you can go on with your kids that don't cost anything, like little adventures. So they have the Kingdom.
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, they have the Phineas and Ferb adventure in Epcot, and they get
like
a cell phone,
hunt.
and they have to do all these clues. And I mean, it
sounds
like it wouldn't be neat, but it is so neat.
It's very
They
elaborate.
have explosions, and like the tree in Japan, its leaves go totally away, and then they'll come back. The Kingdom Keepers, is that it's called in Magic, and then they have the Outdoor Explorers in Animal Kingdom, and so that's cool. There's also pin trading that you can do. You know, watch our pin trading video. That's a bit of extra magic. And then there's also hidden Mickeys.
Thanks to Tiffany, this actually came with my floral gift from our last trip. But it's a field guide, and it has all the parks, and it has every little place where you might find a hidden Mickey.
Anyhow, so those are some of the special magic things you can do.
So number 14 is Magic Your Way.
Yeah, Magic Your Way is a way that you can pay for your trip in advance.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but it's not a credit card.
Yeah. I mean, not pay in advance, but pay on time. Like you pay monthly payments. So you can, it's not a credit card. You just, if you go on the website, you pick your hotel, pick your tickets. Then at the end, it will tell you how much it is, and then you click the button to go ahead and pay, and it will tell you this much due today.
It's kind of a down payment that you have to make up front.
So that reserves your trip. Well, then the best thing about it is they don't make you pay a certain amount every month till your trip. You can pay it as much or as little as you want. I think a minimum payment is $20.
Yeah.
But you can pay every week, you can pay every month, you can pay a third here, a third there, a third later.
And in the meantime, everything is reserved for you.
Yeah. So as long as you pay it off 45 days before your trip, then you are good to go. 2 cats and a mouse tips! We have just some special tips. Like one of mine is to notice the artistry at Disney World. That's one of the reasons we fell in love with it. Disney spares no expense. Have fun, and I know you will. It's Disney World.
Yeah, you get to hug Mickey.
Yes.
We hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you so much, and have such a fun trip at Disney World. Please like and subscribe, and please ask us questions on our below, and tell us how your trip goes. If you have any special tips, please share them. Let us know.
And we love to help people plan their trips. So ask us any question you want.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye. Say bye, Olive.
Say bye, Appa. Can you wave, Appa? No.